Oh, hello, welcome to a new video on my YouTube channel. It's been a long time. You're probably happy with that, but yeah, so you know, as with most people with the current world situation, I haven't done an awful lot on this kind of thing for quite a while, to be honest. Yes, so why have I decided now, after probably a good 2 years, to do another video? This is going to be a slightly different sort of style of video to what I've been doing in the past. You know, I've watched other people's videos and think, well, you know, I quite kind of enjoy it, so I was hoping, like, you know, people would like to see what I'm getting up to this summer. So I was going to do this video on my in my back garden, actually, and one of my neighbours decided he was going to go all Bruce Almighty on me and build an ark. So there was cutting and sawing and nailing and all that sort of thing. So I thought, right, well, did a few things to my bike yesterday, so I'll do a very short shakedown ride. So I've come here. Here you might wonder where that is. So I live near Stonehouse in Gloucestershire. Not the one in Lanarkshire, and I think there's another one down in Portsmouth, Plymouth way as well. So, and I can never really remember which one that is. So yes, I'm on the Cotswold Escarpment, overlooking Stonehouse and the Severn Vale, and a wonderfully named road called Robbers Road, which actually turns into a bit of a track and is part of the Cotswold Way, actually. You can ride your bike on it because this section is bridle way. So before anybody tells me off for riding a bike on a footpath, this is a bridle way. Anyway, yes, I kind of digress a little bit there. So just thought, actually thinking about it, let's just show you what because as you can see, there's Stonehouse down there. The monstrosity with a chimney is actually a dairy. It's a bottling factory, you know, for Muller, I believe, own it now. And you know, all the tankers go in there with the milk from the farms, and it gets bottled up and then shipped out to supermarkets, that kind of thing. So that's basically what that is. Normally you'd be able to see the Severn Bridge from here, the original one. It's a little bit too hazy for that today, but I can just see the twin humps of the Oldbury power station there in the distance. I'm not sure if this is picking it up on the camera, to be honest. But yeah, you've got the hills of the Forest of Dean over there, and you can just see the horseshoe, which is directly above the electricity pylon. To the left you can see the one bend, and to the right you can see the other. And I believe directly opposite that is Little Dean, or rather the hill above Little Dean. And there's actually some quite nice cycling tracks and trails around there, so sometimes it's quite nice to ride around that side and have a look back at where you live, you know. Anyway, I digress again. You can tell this isn't scripted in any way, shape or form. Yeah, so the reason for the video, I have entered an Audax at the end of August called Bristol Glasgow Bristol, organised by Will Pomeroy. So I thought it would be a good idea to do a blog on the event itself. So I'm planning on uploading some videos, certainly daily. They won't be edited in any shape or way, shape or form. So it will be like a, you know, warts and all job. I'm trying to do it, you know, from my camp each night. So I'm planning on camping each evening. That will be sort of a wild camp type setup, in forests, in fields, back of a hedge, that kind of thing. I did play with the idea of having a couple of nights in a travel lodge or something like that, but the prices are just ridiculous at the moment. So and this sort of pandemic thing that seems to be going on at the moment as well, I didn't really fancy that. So I've decided I'm going to wild camp every night. I might, that is a loose thing. I'm not going to be completely wedded to that idea. I might during the week. I kind of have an eye on the Derby Travelodge to stop at, mainly because it's cheap, mainly towards, and it's mainly towards the end of the event. So you know, I might by that point need an evening inside, weather dependent and how I feel and all that kind of thing. So for those that don't know, it's a 1600 kilometre Audax. Starts in Bristol in College Green, which is where the famous sort of semicircle council building is. Heads across into Wales, up through Wales, through Chester, over the Mersey at Runcorn and Widnes, up through all that sort of conurbation up through there, and then goes over the Trough of Bowland out to what's that place Dominic Cummins went to, Bernard Castle. I'm pretty sure my eyesight will be alright. Head north up to Hexham, and then into the Scottish borders around the Kielder Forest, down to Lockerbie, head west from there into the Dumfries and Galloway Forest Park, head north through Ayrshire up to Glasgow, then to follow head then back south through the Dumfries and Galloway Forest again, following the I forget the NCN route number, but the road that goes alongside the M74 south of over the what I call the Southern Highlands, down into Moffat, down to the Beat-up, and then back through to the sort of Lockerbie area again. From there down to Carlisle, looping around to the Lake District with the Hardknot Pass and the Windrose Pass, Windermere, and then back over the Trough of Bowland. It's off the top of my head, I'm going to be honest. From there it kind of cuts across the Peak District, Derby, and then from Derby down south, cuts between sort of Coventry and that sort of area, Birmingham and that sort of area, back to the Cotswolds, up into the Cotswolds again, and then back to Bristol. There are some off-road sections within that route. It is a mandatory route, which is reasonably unusual these days, and actually I kind of quite like that, because I just need to follow the route. Don't have to think about navigation too much, so I'm kind of quite looking forward to that side of it. Yeah, so 1600 kilometres, that's 1,000 miles in old money. Due to the amount of climbing involved, the Audax has a 10 km/h average speed limit, so that's 7 miles an hour in old money as well. So you know, it kind of gives me a good idea of how much climbing is involved in this. So anyway, we shall see. I think the climbing along with the off-road sections will slow me down quite a lot. So the 7 miles an hour sounds very slow, but when you put in you're eating, you're sleeping, and you're pooping, you know, it's fast enough. So I have just under 7 days to do it. So you know, it's going to be a good challenge. So the first thing, once I decided I was going to do this, and then it came live on the website, I then put my entry in. It's then like, how am I going to do this? And I quite enjoy that part of it. I kind of quite like the planning as well as the riding. So I've already spent many hours looking at maps, that sort of thing. Looking at Street View, that's really handy. I use the Ordnance Survey website. I have a subscription on that, so I get all the Land Ranger mapping, so you can scroll right in and get quite a lot of detail. That website has quite a good detailed aerial view as well as the map, so I'm quite surprised at how good quality that is. I also think it's a bit newer than some of the Google Street View stuff as well. although you don't get the street view on that, you just get an aerial view. So a combination of Google Street View and the Ordnance Survey stuff is pretty good. Will has already sent out a GPX file, so I've uploaded that and had a look at that and started trying to plan places where I'm going to stop each evening. I'm going to try on this one to make it a bit more of a the same thing every day. So you know, I get up at such and such a time, I eat at such and such a time, and I stop at a certain time or a distance in what I've got in mind. I'm going to do basically 250 kilometers a day, and see how I get on with that. If that doesn't pan out, then I can just adjust it on the fly, you know. But that's my plan. It's 250 a day, certainly for the first 4 days, and then see where I am from there. I might shorten it after there, depending on time dependent. So I've already kind of worked out the first 3 nights where I'm gonna stop. All 3 locations are within a forest, so I'll be well out of view of being disturbed, moved on, whatever. Yeah, and you know, being under trees as well gives you a bit of shelter from the weather, depending on how that is. If it's like really hot, or well, it won't be hot in the evenings, I guess, by late August, but you know, if it's windy, you get a bit of shelter from the wind. If it's raining, you get a bit of shelter from the rain. So yeah, that's my plan. The first three nights are kind of in the bag, really. I've kind of worked those out. So once I've worked out where I was going to stay, I've then worked back, right, what equipment will I need to make that happen. So I'm going to do another video on nearer the time. There's a month to go yet, but I'm going to do another video on the equipment in terms of sleep equipment and knickknacks and stuff like I'm going to take with me, clothing, that kind of thing, nearer the time. But I just thought today I would talk about you know, the thought process behind it, really. I'm quite fortunate in that I have a choice of bicycles I can use for this. I have a 2016 Linsky Sportive titanium bike, which runs 700 by 28C tyres, Ultegra gears, that kind of thing, 34 by 34 lowest gear. So that gets you up most stuff, and it pings along at a decent speed, so you cover ground pretty quickly, and I can climb most hills with it. And I also, the other bike that I had in mind was my gravel bike, actually, and although it's a lot slower, it's an alloy frame, it's a cheaper bike, I guess. The thing that is a positive, I guess, is that it has a lower gearing and thicker tire, you know, wider tires, that sort of thing. So it's a bit slower, it's a bit heavier, but it's what's the word I'm going to use? You know, I think a bit more rugged. I think that's probably a good thing, because quite a lot of the route is on gravel roads, you know, and off road and through the Galloway and Dumfries Forest, all that sort of off road. So the combination of lower gearing and wide tyres is very appealing. So I'm leaning towards using that at the moment, and that's what I'm riding today. I'm on the bike. I've spent a little bit of money on it, actually, with this ride in mind. So let me just show you the bike itself. Let me just turn you up so you can see. So let me just stand back a little bit so I can get the bike in. Actually, I can do that, and it makes it a bit wider. Yes, so that is a 2017 Arcos, Pinnacle Arcos 3, aluminium frame and forks. It was a bit of an impulse buy, if I'm perfectly honest, when I bought it back in 2017. it was sort of August time in 2017, and they were selling them off cheap basically, and I was also at the same time made redundant, and my former work colleagues were very kind and got me a Evans Cycles gift voucher. So the combination of the gift voucher and the deal, I suppose, sold it to me. So I bought this bike, and I'm so glad I did. You know, it's very it's so many different things in one package really. I can just change the tyres, and I've almost got a mountain bike. I can put road tyres on it, and I've got a road bike really, and it's a lot more sprightly than a touring bike because the wheelbase is shorter. But I've also got this a bit more of a upright riding position as well. So you know, it's lending itself to this event quite a lot. So in terms of kit on it, it has Hope wheels, so that's just to show you there, a 25 rim with a Hope Pro 4 hub. Well, they're both Pro 4 hubs. Disc brakes, they are hydraulic disc brakes, and they are Shimano 105 disc brakes. They're sort of the first version they did of those with the ugly levers, and they are ugly, to be honest, and they have nicened them up in versions since. Just going back through, so this here is a Pro top tube bag. Pro is a brand of Shimano, so it's actually a Shimano bag. Moving back, I have put a Brooks Swallow saddle on here. It clashes a little bit with the orange paint, to be honest, but it came off another bike, and I've put it on here for the simple reason of the saddlebag loops on the back, as I'm going to be running a Paradise Nelson long flap saddlebag. That is something I'll show you in a different video. Yeah, so the back wheel, moving around to the back, I have a, same as the front, Hope wheel, their own branded rims, 25 they're called, with the Pro 4 hub. These hubs are really good. They're the freewheel's a bit loud, but that's quite good. You don't need a bell on the toe paths and that sort of thing, because everybody here looks around and goes, what the hell's that? You will notice that I have a Shimano 105 front mech, front mech, that's an R7000 or whatever they're called, and a R7000 rear mech. This thingy here, this is a mech hanger extender. So basically that is a standard 105 medium cage rear mech, and the biggest sprocket on the cassette you can see there, that is a 42 tooth sprocket, so that's pretty big, and that extender allows you to run something like that. Moving to the chain set itself, is what came with the bike. It's a Praxis Works chain set, 170 cranks. The chain ring, the big chain ring, is actually is new, and is I bought from Spa Cycles, which is actually excellent. And to be honest, that's quite a good chain ring, mainly because the other one was wore out. The inner chain ring isn't quite as warm, but riding up the hill to here, I noticed there's a little bit of wear on it. So I think I couldn't get a 32, so that is a 32 inner chain ring and a 48 outer. So my lowest gear is actually 32, 42. So that's going to get me up pretty much anything without too much of a struggle. And as I said, that's a 105 R7000 front mech. You might wonder why there's a lump cut out of the mudguard there. The old version of the front mech has a little lever on it, and basically that fouled the mudguard, so I had to do a bit of a bodge job and cut a chunk out so it didn't foul it. Talking of the mudguards, you notice that I'm running Raw mud flaps. Raw are a company who has an online presence. They make these mud flaps. They're not cheap, but they're what it isn't obvious here is actually they are reflective. So I run them because they're reflective, and I'm quite into putting reflectors on my bike to make me visible in the evenings. So yeah, that's the bike. Anyway, this is turning into a bit of a longer video than what I'd anticipated, to be honest. But I'm just going to leave you with the view. So yes, this is Robbers Road. Takes you up into Standish and Randwick Woods, and you can come through here on over to Painswick and places like that. Yeah, so yeah, that's what's happening. Bristol, Glasgow, Bristol. End of April. You know, it's even August maybe. God dear, I'm getting old. Yeah, so watch this space. There's going to be a few more videos on this before the actual event, I think. Going to go through the kit, as I said earlier, you know, that I'm going to take. Sleeping equipment, eating equipment, that kind of thing. There's a few things that I'm going to take that I haven't used before, so that's going to be interesting. Namely a hammock. But I'm kind of letting the secret out the bag, really, I suppose, and I'll do that video back in my back garden rather than here. But yes, thanks for, if you've made it this long, because this has turned into rather a lot longer than I thought, and I didn't realise I could talk for this long. I'll speak to you soon. Thanks very much. Cheers.